This is a Fox News alert. Here is what you've all been waiting for, the top 10. These are the 10 candidates who will be sparring in prime time on debate night. Number 1, real estate mogul Donald Trump. The billionaire businessman will take center stage. To his left, number 2, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Also flanking the Donald at number 3, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. And coming in at number 4, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Midway through the pack, number 5 is retired neurosurgeon and political newcomer Dr. Ben Carson. And representing Texas in the number 6 spot, the U.S. Senator from Texas, Ted Cruz. Also from Florida, taking the 7th spot on stage, the U.S. Senator from Florida, Marco Rubio. At number 8, medical doctor and U.S. Senator from Kentucky, Rand Paul. At the edge of the stage, number 9, current New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. And rounding out the primetime debate at number 10, Ohio Governor John Kasich. Now, the other candidates not taking part in the primetime debate will appear in an earlier debate at 5 p.m. Eastern, right before On the Record. But tonight, the man taking center stage, Donald Trump, totally dominating the polls. Here's a look at what he told Bill O'Reilly about our border.
The Great Wall of China, built a long time ago, is 13,000 miles. I mean, you're talking about big stuff. We're talking about peanuts by comparison to that. Mexico will pay for the wall. I will make sure it gets done properly.
But how is Mexico? What are you going to do to Nieto? What are you going to say to him? Hey, Bill, you have to pay for the wall to the tune of $2 billion? He's going to say, hey, Bill, forget it.
Bill, they're making a fortune. Mexico is making a fortune in the United States. It's becoming the new China in terms of trade. They're killing us at the border. I have a lot of respect for Mexico. I have hundreds, actually thousands of Mexicans that have worked for me over the years. And now the fact is that Mexico, terrific people and really smart leadership. And they're killing our leadership because they're sharper, they're more cunning.
All right,
they know what they're doing.
But you're still not telling me how you're going to make Nieto pay for the wall. How?
Bill, it's simple. They're taking in billions and billions of dollars. They're building the Ford company, Ford Motor Company.
So you're going to stop all that trade with them?
No, I'm going to say, Mexico, guess what? This is not going to continue. You're going to pay for the wall. And I've said they're going to pay for the wall, and they will pay for the wall. And, Bill, it's peanuts compared to the money we're talking about. They take in what they're doing to us in trade and at the border.
There is
unbelievable.
You'll hear more from the Donald on the Factor after On the Record, but right now your political panel, the Washington Times, Stephen Dinan, the Washington Examiner's Byron York. Byron, fascinating 10, John Kasich, the governor of Ohio. This is going to happen in Ohio, just getting it under the wire.
Very lucky for him. You know, he just announced very recently, and the last debate selections were basically happening when he was getting a little bit of a post-announcement bump. On the Trump thing, every candidate is going to have some sort of Trump strategy in his mind as he goes into the debate. I think it would be a bad idea, though, to try to attack. You know, you could certainly
attack. He'll nuke you. I mean, you have everybody's phone number out on the air.
So Bill O'Reilly is saying, look, how are you going to get them to pay for this wall? I don't think those kind of things are going to work between candidates and Trump. I think where Trump is going to run into trouble is with tough, substantive question from the Fox moderators. I'm really interested to see how he handles those.
Well, you know, it's interesting. He said what Donald Trump says is that he doesn't use consultants or do polling because he says what he thinks. He doesn't have to be told what to say. So I'm sure that it'd be refreshing to hear what he has to say. Stephen.
Yeah, you know, I'm really excited. The field looks very interesting. You have 3 senators who made the cut there. You have Dr. Ben Carson. Sort of that bottom tier was where the real interest was, to see who would make the 6 through 10. A good roundup of lots of different experience, folks who have zero political experience, of course, with Trump and Carson, and then folks who have years of political experience in Bush and whatnot. So a really good field. You know, I agree with Byron that it will be interesting to see. Probably the best dynamic will be Trump versus the Fox moderators. I think we have a model of where that can help the candidate back in the 2012 debate when Newt Gingrich used the moderator sort of as a foil, and you know it'll be interesting to see how Trump does that as well.
Well, he's absolutely fearless, Byron. So I mean, he's going to take on anybody who takes him on, whether it's someone who works at Fox News or another candidate.
Well, but the moderators have a different relationship with the candidates than the other candidates are. Well, we have seen candidate attacks backfire in a big way. Mitt Romney bet you $10,000. Things like that don't work very well. A good substantive exchange between the moderator and the candidate can really kind of enlighten the audience about what their position is, about how much they know about it, all sorts of things like that.
You know, I think, Stephen, that it's interesting, the 5 o'clock debate. Carly Fiorina's in it, Senator Rick Santorum, Governor Rick Perry, Governor Jindal, Senator Lindsey Graham, Governor Pataki, Governor Gilmore. I mean, that's going to be just as exciting to watch because, you know, this is very sort of early on in sort of the campaigning.
Yeah, for a couple of reasons. First of all, again, you also, with a field this size, both debates are going to have a good breadth of opinions and candidates. But also, those are the folks who are desperate to essentially to gain attention. You're likely to see some good exchanges. And what I'm interested to see is the sort of barbs that they toss over the fence to the later, the folks who are appearing later to see, what Jim Gilmore or Governor Pataki, what sort of things, challenges they leave for the other candidates later on.
But I think they have an opportunity in the earlier debate actually to have more substance in it because as Chris Wallace said earlier on Special Report, he said you don't want it to be the Donald Trump show, but it is. And this will be a debate without Trump, without all the personality drama, without all of the stuff that he's said in the past. I think you could actually have a more substantive debate in the earlier debate without the presence of Trump.
Well, we're going to talk a lot about that earlier debate at 7 o'clock because it precedes us on Thursday night, so we're going to have a lot of fun on it. But this is going to be absolutely fascinating, both at the 5 o'clock and the later one. And no one wants to miss that. And I'm sort of interested to see, whether or not anyone dares to take a slap at Donald Trump.
I mean, there's certainly room to, right? As you just saw from the exchange there with O'Reilly, and yeah, we'll see whether anybody.
Nuked?
He always sits back and he hits back harder than he got hit.
Yeah, he doesn't. Actually, he doesn't take the first swipe. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, if you look at it historically so far, it's like he doesn't take the first swipe at his opponents. Although, if an opponent takes a swipe at him, look out.
But he leaves plenty of room, though, for somebody to come in. I mean, for example, the exchange on the fence, some of those exchanges, he leaves so much room for you to follow up, and maybe that's an invitation for that swipe, which he then replies with a nuke. But there's going to be a lot of room for those exchanges.
All right, well, it's going to be very exciting Thursday night. Anyway, panel, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And, of course, you don't want to miss the Donald's interview with Bill O'Reilly. That's next at 8 p.m. on the O'Reilly Factor, right after On the Record.